French Boef Provençal. I'm going to be doing this with a view on doing it on a boat or in a caravan, and therefore using, in this case, I'm going to be cooking with a Mr. D thermal cooker. It means that you can have a hot meal at the end of the day, go travelling, sailing, walking, whatever it is, you come back to a full meal. This is no gas and no electric once you've got the cooking temperature. So that's economical in a boat and easy in your caravanning. The other thing would use a pressure cooker. Stew, I think, takes about 12 minutes at 15 pounds in a pressure cooker. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the stock. Now in there I'll put a heaped teaspoon of thyme, heaped teaspoon of oregano, and it should be 4 tablespoons in the original recipe, but I just threw that in it. Because when you're cooking with pressure cookers, when you're cooking with thermal cookers, you need more liquid. And so therefore, although the original recipes may say for 2 teaspoons, they say for 4 tablespoons of this, half a pint of water and so on, you need more flexibility when you're doing, because you need to cover the meat when you're cooking. Right, also I'm going to add, I've had a bit of an accident here, so I'm going to add a teaspoon of black ground pepper. And finally, I've got to add here we go. And finally, I've got to add a tablespoon of tomato puree. Well, I'm guessing that. I'd say that was about a tablespoon. Right, that's it in there. Now the only thing that needs to be added to that a bit later on is what I do is I have a kettle with half a pint in it, and I'll add half a pint of water there or whatever I need to top it up to get it to cover all the meat. Right, so I'm now going to start doing a bit of cooking. I'll get the temperature up, and in the meantime I'll get this going. I'll show you the ingredients now. Right, here's the ingredients. Bacon that I'll brown in due course with the meat. Chopped onions, sliced tomato, look at that slicing. Chopped garlic, sliced carrot, about 4 or 5 sliced tomatoes. Now this is not in the recipe at all, this. I just found the celery in the fridge, so I'm heaving it in. That's a regular contribution to stews. It doesn't do any harm, I'm just using it up. And then it's red pepper and green pepper chopped. And those are the ingredients that we'll be using. Right. I'm now going to do the browning of the meat. Now when you're browning meat, don't teach me about to suck eggs, do small amounts at a time, otherwise you cool the oil down. And then if it gets stuck into the bottom of the pan, don't worry too much, because that will come off lovely with the liquid later. Basically brown it a bit. And I'll carry on doing. Now I've been doing the beef, browning the beef. What I'm going to do now is I've taken the bacon, there's 3 rashers of bacon streaky in there. I'm just putting them to the last batch because I brown them with the remaining meat. This browning business, yes, it's great for sealing, and I think, but add a push if you're late for work, or you're cooking all day, slow cooker or something like that, pressure cooker. It's all going to be cooked. You don't have to brown them, but I think it's the better practice. I'm just browning that in there. I've got it on number 7 actually, which you'd think would be enough on the electric, but anyway, that's just basically get rid of the raw bacon. Doesn't need to be crispy. It's thin bacon nowadays, as you know, they're thinner than pieces of paper nowadays. You get like 100 slices in about an ounce. Anyway, there you go. So that's I'm happy that will do. Right. Now, I'm taking that all out. The next thing is to start this is where it gets very quick really. I'm going to turn this down to 6 in a bit. I'll leave it on 7 for a while though for the moment. That's on 7. Right. What goes in now is the onions. The onions, and there's the garlic. I think I mentioned in an earlier video how good these things are for picking up. Anyway, that's that. Down to 6. Right, well, the onions have got not reduced, but got softer, and the garlic is in there as well. Right, the next thing to do now is I'm going to add the tomatoes because I've got liquid in them. That's that in there. Mix that around a bit. That's it. Everything really goes in now. That's it. It's an easy cook, this, I tell you. The only thing I haven't added, which I'll do now, is the salt. At least 1 teaspoon. I'll do a fairly big heap like that. That's a thing. Could have gone in the stock, of course. Right, the next thing I'm going to put in is the meat and the bacon. So there, blood anyway. That's in there now. Mixing it up so it looks good. And now, what goes in? Carrots. Peppers. Bit of a mix. You know, I think on a boat you could actually slice some potatoes, throw them in, so it's like truly is a one-point meal. But on the other hand, you see, you eat it with French bread, rice, Boef Provençal. I think you could dip it. Certainly be lovely with bread. Right, I'm now going to add the sauce. Before I do that, I've forgotten about the mushrooms, so I'll put them in now. There's the sliced mushrooms. Of course, they'll reduce in size. It's a flavour, really. Right. Now, that was about a quarter. If I bring up to 3/4, that'll be half a pint. But I'm going to go all the way to a pint liquid. And give it a good stir. I'm using a whisk really because there's the tomato puree at the bottom. Alright. Alright. Just put a dribble of water on that. That's it. Right, I had a bit of a spill there, so I'll clean that up now. Now what I've got to do is I've got to bring this up to the boil. I'm going to hold this up now, see if you can see it. There, it needs more liquid than that, because it needs more liquid because of course it's going to be a thermal cooker or a pressure cooker. So there's something sticking there. Get rid of that. Right, so I'm going to add a tiny bit more just to get it over the top, and then that will be it. I've got to bring this then to the heat. That's that. Right, I'll show you that again. Now you wouldn't do that in the casserole, but that will do great for this because you need it in the pressure cooker or this thermal cooker. Now the plan is to get that thing up to heat. And you lose the lid on it. Right, now that's going to take probably 5-10 minutes to get to temperature. Then I'll simmer it for another 10-15 minutes, then put it in the Mr. D, and that will be it. Anyway, it's simmering there, and now I'm going to put it in here, like so. Bring down the lid. That's sealed. And now there's for this particular model, there's a dewberry thing. So I can put it through there. There's a handling case there. And that's it, cooked. Now, just a matter of waiting. So well, this is it now. It's been about 4 hours, good 4 hours. And here's the Mr. D. I've opened the packet. It's got no heating. It's not been gas, electric, apart from time I put it in there. Take it off, and there it is. It's steaming hot, ready to eat. Smells delicious. Yeah, smell that. Can you smell that? Beautiful. Now to the. Well, it's now been served. And the shadow is my wife's shadow on the thing. You can see that now. It looks delicious actually. There's only one spoon that.